Hello and welcome to another episode of Pirate Citizen TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well today. I wanted to talk a little bit about mining. Yeah, mining is probably one of the weirdest professions in the verse, but one of the most important if you really think about it. And I feel like ever since they had the big apocalypse of the mining disaster, the trade disaster that had just came up, meaning trade isn't as great as it used to be. It's almost like you got to go mine the materials you need in order to get anywhere. And it's not really that cool, man. Honestly, it's actually kind of a pain in the butt. So a lot of people have actually gone to Quantanium mining in order to make a buck, and that's one of the things that you got to think about. I feel like they've really focused in on the mining in the game as one of the more complete loops that we've been given in order to play. And I feel like right now even that one kind of has a few quirks about it that doesn't make a whole lot of sense to me, but the economy isn't exactly connected to the quanta as they were talking about in some of the other videos that they've done on the actual main Star Citizen channel. So one of the things I was thinking about was what the heck is going on with that particular aspect of gameplay. And mining is all about Quantanium right now. That's what I've heard. That's what I've seen. People are making big money doing that. I did like $1 million load after really stocking up and going and refining, and I have figured that there's probably going to be a lot more going on. So it is what it is, but it seems like they're focusing on getting everybody to mine Quantanium all the time because it seems to be the only thing that's actually going to give you a decent amount of cheese, if you know what I mean. Ultimately, I'm digging it, but I feel like we need to get a little more fleshed out in what is supposed to be going on, because right now when you're Quantanium mining, if you get a good rock that's like 20% and you have a prospector, you can pretty much almost fill up yourself on that rock, no problem. If you get something that's like 30% or like a 42% rock, oh yeah, then you're gonna get an entire weight of Quantanium, and most of the time you probably won't even get any inert materials, and it's those runs that are going to give you probably the biggest amount of money for anybody to actually do anything with, which is pretty nice actually. That's probably one of the key things here. But now I find myself flying by all kinds of different stuff and it not being very effective for me to get things like Laranite and stuff anymore. And when I get Laranite, it doesn't seem to be really connected to what's going on specifically with the quanta, because there's usually never any Laranite for sale at any of the buy stations. And I mean, I'm guessing that they're wanting people to do some other things, like literally use their quanta to figure out where all the stuff's coming from. But what I've noticed is that when people are mining, we're not actually seeing a lot of anything at the different stations. So like when you're trading, it's one thing, you don't see anything out there. And I think that there's supposedly supposed to be a correlation to that, but you know, you never see anybody trading Quantanium like cargo status. So, you know, what can you really do at this particular juncture and this situation? And really it's just kind of the hunt for Quantanium if you really want to see what's going on. And whenever I do these videos, I always put, you know, like basically a raw function of whatever my gameplay is at the time. And right now we're heading over to Crew 1 so that we could go start Quantanium mining. I keep my refinery here. This is where I refine all my materials for Quantanium, everything else. And then the next thing that I have is I take my prospector from here and I fly it over to her L3, I believe, and then I do my Quantanium mining there. When I get a full load from there, I fly back to Crew L1, do some refinery, and then kind of just do it over and over and over again. If you do 4 runs, if you can get 4 rocks of Quantanium, as long as you're taking stuff that's over 15%, maybe over 20% and higher, you might have to be hunting a little bit, but eventually you're going to get into a groove of actually finding this stuff. And when you start finding it, you'll find that, hey man, every couple of days you'll have 500,000, a million, so on and so forth to take out with it. And it really doesn't take long to complete the loop. You just got to really get focused in on what you actually need to be finding. So it kind of sucks, you'll find minerals like laranite or agricium, and that's the stuff that is really good for traders, but you never find enough of it to actually fill a cat or a big ship or anything like that anymore. So it's a lot harder to make money. So right now you're kind of forced into two different things to make money. And number one, you're forced into going after bounties. You got to get your bounty cred up really, really high, and you can get some decent money off of bounties. But outside of that, you're basically kind of relegated to doing the mining trip. And it's not a bad thing. It's just something that you probably have to really get focused on. Every time you see a big laranite rock or something else like that, you might as well just skip it. And okay, maybe if you're running a mole, you might have an extra space to pick it up, because let's face it, if you're running a mole, you're really only going to be able to get one fat rock of Quantanium before you have to go back. And yeah, sure, you could maybe waste time sucking up some other rocks and breaking them up if you need some extra training, but right now I've never seen a rock bigger than 42% for Quantanium, so how are you really going to fill the entire mole with all of your, goodies? I guess you could still Quantanium mine in a mole. You just need a crew of 2 people, one guy flying, one guy rolling the turret, and if the rock's big enough, you might need to add another one. But so far, it's nothing like that people have actually really seen to worry about. It's the focus on rolling yourself into the right place, using the right materials, and I feel like right now the right thing to do, the right thing to run is a freaking prospector and just do your rounds. It's not really that difficult, but it is the loop that seems to feel one of the most completest, and when we really take a look at what goes on with it, it does seem a lot better than what we've seen from some of the other games that have been offered out there. Everything seems a lot different. It is what it is. Who cares if I just parked at somebody else's place? I don't care about my ship. Find me, find me. Whatever. You see my pirate armor? Don't care. Either way, it doesn't give you a crime stat for that, so I'm not worried about that. And that's how I put away my prospector too whenever I land, just to make sure I get back a little bit faster. It works pretty well, and I mean, the fine's only $500, but the time it takes me to get inside and do everything, it's already gone before I even have to worry about it. So all I'm saying is you got to use the game mechanics as they are and take them as they are, and eventually, we all hope that CIG is going to change it. But the idea here is always make sure you're mining, because literally that's the best consistent money outside of doing contracts that you can do. And pretty much space mining right now is pretty good. You're not going to get pirated. Mongrel Squad can't come and take your ship. They might be able to go into space and stop you up and, ransom you off and maybe get something out of you, but it's relatively safe. I tell people don't go mining on planets and rocks, because yeah, you can make some money off of that. Ultimately, you're gonna have to worry about pirates, because they're gonna be able to take your gear right now out of the back of your rock. And go check out Mongrel Squad and you'll see what I'm talking about, or look on my channel and go check out my pirate mission and you'll see that there's a lot more going on here that meets the eye. But ultimately, you got to get yourself into the game, and I was informed that I had some mining orders to get picked up. I'm pretty sure I don't have too much over here ready to go, but we'll see what's going on with it. And it's consistent money. If you're playing the game, you want to make sure that you're... Oh boy, I walked into the elevator. Well, I guess you want to make sure that you're able to get somewhere. Who knows if you're even going where you need to be going? I don't know. This is so scary. Either way, make your money mining. do missions, but try to like roll yourself out. So you go mine a couple hours, go do some pirate missions, and you'll be able to gain yourself some pretty good money. I just bought a ship, and apparently now I can't do anything because this elevator's broken. So who knows what happened? Now I'm a ghost. So don't end up like all those suckers trading that are losing their money to 30Ks and stuff. Just go do some mining and then do some slow runs and you'll be all right. Either way, Pirate Citizen is out because there's a problem here with the game. No problem. I hope you guys have a good one. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe. Share this with your friends. And we'll see you again on the next one. May the verse be with you and Pirate Citizen out.